The theory that reality as we consciously experience it is not real goes back to ancient indigenous people who believed we exist in a dream or illusion. In our current timeline, we refer to the matrix grids, virtual reality, simulation, and hologram. Today, many physicists are researching the concept of the universe as a hologram. The universe is a conscious hologram. Reality is projected illusions within the hologram. It is a virtual experiment created in linear time to study emotions. Our hologram is composed of grids created by a source consciousness brought into awareness by electromagnetic energy at the physical level. The hologram is created and linked through a web or grid matrices based on the patterns of sacred geometry. The hologram had a beginning and it has an end. As consciousness involves in the alchemy of time, as the grid collapses, everything within the hologram will end, helping to understand what is going on in the world today. In media, we find films, television shows, books, and games based on the concept of reality as a hologram. Among the more easily recognized are the movies Matrix, which is based on an illusion, the 13th floor, which is based on a simulation, Inception, which is based on a dream, and Holodic, that is grids in the TV series Star Trek. Second Life, an internet game, and the Holographic Universe, a 1991 book by Michael Talbot. Do we live in a computer simulation? Researchers say idea can be tested. So these are not something that is my idea, but this is something which is a developed and well-established fact and which is been proposed by our physicists and by our scientists. A decade ago, a British philosopher put forth the notion that the universe we live in might in fact be a computer simulation run by our descendants. While that seems far-fetched, perhaps even incomprehensible, a team of physicists at the University of Washington has come up with a potential test to see if the idea holds water. What if reality was really just sim universe? What if everything, all of us, the world, the universe was not real? What if everything we are, we know and do was really just someone's computer simulation? The notion that our reality was some kid on a couch in the far future playing with a computer game like a gigantic sim city or civilization, or we are his characters isn't new. But a group of physicists now think they know of a way to test the concept. Three of them propose to test reality by simulating the simulators. Is it real? Physicists proposed method to determine if the universe is a simulation. In October 2012, a common theme of science fiction movies and book is the idea that we are living in a simulated universe, that nothing is actually real. The team's idea is based on a work being done by other scientists who are actively engaged in trying to create simulation of our universe, at least as we understand it. Thus far, such work has shown that to create a simulation of reality, there has to be a three-dimensional framework to represent real-world objects and processes. With computerized simulation, it's necessary to create a lattice to account for the distances between virtual objects and to simulate the progression of time. The German team suggested such a lattice could be created based on a quantum chromodynamics theories that describes the nuclear forces that binds subatomic particle. Physicists say there may be a way to prove that we live in a computer simulation. Back in 2003, Oxford professor Nick Bostrom suggested that we live in a computer simulation. In his paper, Bostrom offered very little science to support his hypothesis, though he did calculate the computational requirement needed to pull off such a feat. And indeed, a philosophical claim is one thing, actually proving it is quite another. But now a team of physicists say proof might be possible and that it's a matter of finding a cosmological signature that would serve as the proverbial red pill from the matrix, and they think they know what it is. According to Silas Bean and his team at the University of Bonn in Germany, a simulation of the universe should still have constraint no matter how powerful. How a holographic universe emerged from fight with Stephen Hawking. The proponents of string theory seems to think they can provide a more elegant description of the universe by adding additional dimensions. But some other theoreticians think that they have found a way to view the universe as having one less dimension. The work sprung out of a long argument with Stephen Hawking about the nature of black holes, which was eventually solved by the realization that the event horizon could act as a hologram, preserving information about the material that gotten sucked inside. The same sort of math, it turns out, can actually describe any point in the universe, meaning that the entire content universe can be viewed as a giant hologram, one that resides on the surface of whatever two-dimensional shape will enclose it. When it comes to the basic idea that the universe can be described using a hologram, does quantum theory explain consciousness? Consciousness, how do you go about explaining that? Indeed, many scientists are currently studying what happens in the brain and how the mind relates to the outside world. But quantifying what gives us consciousness is proving to be rather tough nut to crack. Is there some supernatural influence? Is it purely biological? Or is there something else? Something more than physics? Don't you think our consciousness might be explained by the Large Hadron Collider, which is probing states of matter that existed immediately after the Big Bang? So it's bound to throw up some new physics. Don't you reckon it might uncover some sort of particle or energy that might explain our connectivity with the universe? Possibly inspired by the crazy science butchered in the TV series Flash Forward, in which everyone on the planet gets knocked out for a 2 minutes and 17 seconds, having visions 6 months into the future after an experiment apparently went awry in a particle accelerator. My friend was quick to point out that the quantum physics by its nature is weird and consciousness is well weird. So there must be some connection. While this may be attractive, but after all, quantum mechanics brought us the Scrondier's very confused, dead or alive, or both cat. There is a fundamental flaw in this logic. As Brooke mentions in his article, strange quantum effects don't fit in our everyday experience of the world. They may have invoked to resolve myriad things we don't yet understand such supernatural phenomena.